What's up, everybody? It is Casey with Two Worlds Podcast, and with me, as always, it's the David Spade to my Chris Farley. It's Jake. Hey, man, does this shirt make me look fat?
No, but your face does.
How you doing, bud?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Pretty cold. It was a chilly one today.
Well, I wasn't out in a field, but when I was out and about today, I thought it was pretty comfortable in my hoodie
Oh,
with
well, that's good.
sleeves rolled up. It was nice.
Nice. I was over by grain bins, and like when you're around them, it's just like wind tunnels
Mhm.
wherever they are. And this, like where I'm at now, it's like all grain bins. So it's just winds hitting you every which way.
How is the harvest going? Because we're recording at a reasonable time this week.
Slow, but we got beans done, so it's now just corn. And actually, your uncle's gonna come help tomorrow.
I wasn't gonna say it on air, but yeah, my mom and my aunt came to town today, so I was hanging out with them today, and
Oh,
and they
nice.
they told me that my uncle was gonna drive a semi for you. So
Yeah, he's starting off with the auger cart because where we're at right now, you can move from auger cart to the semi, our stationary semi. And
mhm.
once we get all those filled up, he's gonna be going back and forth. We got another person doing auger cart, and yeah. So hopefully that
Hey,
speeds things up. It's better than my grandpa doing it. I was feeling bad for him because he's 93 and he was having trouble getting in and out of the semis.
right. Well, I I'm glad that my uncle can help you out. We got some real small town wholesomeness on this
Yep.
show. All right, folks. We'll get into the news. I apologize if my voice is a little off. I'm recovering from a very nasty cold I had over the weekend, but at least my voice is back to normal. Like a day or two ago, my voice was like 4 octaves lower and I kind of sounded like Johnny Cash, which was pretty cool in my opinion,
Yeah.
but
No, we should have done the podcast then.
I know, right? But anyway, the news. We're about even Stevens, but I'll start off with the silly one. Casey, have you ever thought to yourself, I want to own the entire cover and complete story of a John Romita Jr. Action Comics issue?
No.
Okay, me either, but it is up for auction right now if you want to buy it. I guess
What's the
John's
starting
probably
bid?
hurting. Well, the current bid is $3,600.
Oh wow, I figured it'd be more, honestly.
Not me, because I think it's dog cheeks, but
I mean, I don't think it's like I'm not a fan of it, but he does have a following.
Oh, I know he does.
So I figured that would be a good bit of money still going.
I mean, it could be the bidding could be young, I don't know how much time is
Yeah.
left, but I think his Action Comics run was so bad. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, if anybody's interested, it's up for grabs.
Yeah. Well, maybe you get it for the shop and just kind of have it like front and center.
No, sir.
Okay, so I have some like dumb news. Like I didn't know this was a thing until I saw it on Twitter like right before we got on. But G Fest is making a new rule that they won't allow the sale of any copyrighted character in artist alley. So like if the artist made prints, so like even if Matt Frank, who's pretty well known and he's bringing in the money when he's at G Fest, they won't allow him to do any of his Godzillas, any of his any of that stuff unless he has the Toho giving him like what is temporary licensing for it.
Meaning he has to give Toho a percentage of what he makes.
I'm assuming so. Like they said, oh yeah, you can contact Toho and see if you can work something out where you get temporary license. So like these artists that were making money from this are just like, yeah, we're not going to it now because we can't afford to fly out there and then be like, hey, look at my original character that I drew. You want a picture? Like, it's not
I
a
mean,
thing.
does the G Fest people just want their show to die? Because that's how you make it die.
Yeah, it's just like it's just gonna become the showroom full of toys. That's what it's gonna turn into. You're gonna lose all of the artists.
Now, not having been to a G Fest personally, uh, was the Artist Alley a pretty big part of that show?
I mean, it was for some people. I hated it because, so like when we go to C2E2, it's like an actual convention center. This one's like a hotel's convention center where it's, I don't know if you've ever been to like a wedding at a hotel or, where it's like, oh yeah, there's this one main room that can be broken up into like two rooms, but and there's all these other little rooms throughout. And it's like that. And Artist Alley was put into a separate little room. So you had like tables, like it was just like a like one to maybe 1.5 people wide hallway between tables and tables,
Yeah.
and then you had to just kind of go all the way around, and it's terrible and I hate it. I was like, I went in, got my like some Red Man stuff for Matt Frank and a print for Matt Frank, and then I was like, see ya, and I left.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great. Well, I don't know. Hopefully G Fest gets their poop in a group. Like, are they getting sued by Toho or?
I don't know what the reasoning is at all. Like nothing really came out from what I saw. It just sounded like some weird thing that the dude that runs it was coming up with. So
Right.
yeah, it's just a bad idea in general.
Yeah, totally agree.
Then they need to just like change Godzilla's coloring a little bit on all their prints and like do that type of thing where it's like, no, this is Lordzilla. And then Gamera's like, no, this is Marmora. Like these are original characters. Look at their coloring. The Godzilla looks like this.
So here's like a real nerdy Godzilla question. Because I know that Ghidorah is sometimes called Ghidra. Is that still Toho or is that someone else?
Yeah, well, because the reason why he gets called Ghidra, from everything I've always understood, it's mostly just because of the dubbing. It's same with Anguirus and Anguillus. Like I grew up with Anguillus in the dubbing that I grew up in, and then like everyone's like, no, it's Anguirus. Like get
Yeah.
it right. So it's
Okay.
just it's more of like what you grew up dubbing wise. That's why like I call King Ghidorah, King Ghidorah, Ghidorah, Monster Zero, all that nonsense. It's just
Right. I just didn't know if it was a thing where they could be like, oh no, it's not Ghidorah, it's Ghidra. But I
I mean
guess that could be the same
they
thing.
they probably could if they wanted to. I would just try to look in loopholes like that if I was artistic at all. I would just be like, yeah, no, guys, this is I was gonna say Mega Man, but I'm like, that's a character too. We can't do that.
Rockman. All right. So uh, this is like really vague, and I wish I had more info on it, but the shop got an email from Lunar saying that some changes are coming up to the DC discounts that stores get, and they didn't say who it would be happening to or what the changes would be, but hopefully it doesn't affect mine negatively.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it would be just like a 5 or 10% difference, but hopefully it's nothing I have to worry about because I like where my discounts at with DC right now. But that could be a problem for some other people, so we'll see.
That's one thing that's weird. I'll always see on Twitter where people will talk about how like their comic book shop still uses Diamond instead of Lunar for their DC stuff, and how like
They can't.
they can't. Okay, because they were talking about how like Diamond crapped the bed on like one of their Superman books at the Tom Taylor Superman books that were coming out. Like, I hope they don't do it again. And I was just like, well, why would they stick with Diamond anyway?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you order like a Dynamic Forces like signed, because I got one this week I got Joker #1 signed by James Tynan, and it comes with a little like certificate of authenticity. That still comes from Diamond because it's a DC book that Dynamic Forces has James Tynan sign, and then Diamond distributes that.
I
So I
gotcha.
don't know if maybe it was one of those or
Yeah.
what, but yeah, otherwise I just don't see how that's possible.
Right on. All right. And then so this is like the stupidest thing. Like I don't think anyone can like I think you could be excited about it, but it's still the dumbest thing. Tomorrow, Sony is doing a release for the Spider-Man trailer. It's a live event in LA for a trailer.
Okay.
Like,
So
I mean,
you go to the event and watch a trailer that can also be put up on YouTube immediately after.
that's the way it sounds.
Like, do they at least get to see it before it goes up on YouTube?
Maybe you're probably gonna get swag. I'm guessing.
Maybe Tom Holland shows up for it.
It'd be hilarious if it was like the people that weren't invited to the movie to be in the movie. So it was like MJ, the original Aunt May, um, Emma Stone.
Well, maybe you're calling it right here.
What? Oh, who's the dude that played Rhino? That's a really good actor. What's his name?
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti. He's there.
That would be awesome, honestly.
Dude, there was a Gethard show where they had a big dumpster on set, and they're just like, "Guess what's in the dumpster?" That was the whole thing. And so then, like I don't like. I want people to watch it. So, like, spoiler alert to Chris Gethard show from years ago, but it's like people are guessing, and someone guessed like, is it Spider-Man? And all this other stuff, and then it's nothing other than at the very end, someone said like, I think it's Tobey Maguire because we were close with Spider-Man. And then finally, Paul Giamatti bursts out of the dumpster. He's like, yes, it's Tobey Maguire.
Paul Giamatti had nothing better to do than to sit in this dumpster for an entire show.
I guess he saw the show and he liked it, so he approached Gethard about being on the show, and so that's what they did.
That's amazing, dude. I bet Gethard felt like a superstar after that.
Dude, I mean, he had Puff Daddy on there because like he did the stage show, and he had him on there, and then after this, because he like got enough people like being like, oh, we want him on the Gethard stage show, and so then like he just showed up, and he's like, the people wanted it happened. And like he had a great time, and he was just like, hey, if you ever need anything, I got your back. And so then like they were gonna have like someone on the show, and they canceled last minute, so like he got a hold of Puff Daddy, and P Diddy showed up, and he like was like, I can only do 30 minutes. It's an hour long. And he's like, can you like do something, for the other 30 minutes? Because all I got is 30 minutes. He's like, we can get this to work. He's like, okay, good.
That's amazing. Good for him. Good for Gethard.
It made me like P Diddy a lot more too, because I was like, because he was like an insane person on the show too. Because he was just like, yeah, because this show is insane, so I'm feeding off this crazy energy.
Right. All right, moving along. Do with this info what you will, Casey. But somebody asked Kirsten Dunst, would you be open to returning as Mary Jane again in Spider-Man movies? And she said she'd be up for it. I don't see that will ever occur, but maybe it will. And if that's the case, what do you think about that?
I'm fine with it. Like, I'll be honest, I think, especially when you go back and like kind of look at this way that her Mary Jane was written, I'm not gonna say portrayed, 100% how it was written in the Sam Raimi verse. She was a bad person a lot of the time, in my opinion, being like, yeah, hey Pete, flirting with Pete, and then like dating his best friend, and then being like, Pete, do you love me? And then he's like, I just can't. And, she knows that he's Spider-Man. And she's like, well, I'm going to go bone this other guy and get married. And then be like, last minute, changing my mind. It's just like, geez, MJ.
Yeah.
You're kind of terrible. But I mean, if like this is like older MJ that's kind of like settled down and stopped all the terribleness and accepted, Peter Parker for being Spider-Man, yeah, I'm all about that. That'd be great.
Yeah. I know a lot of people hated her as Mary Jane, but man, I used to just have such a crush on her. I thought she was so pretty. So I'm like, yeah, why not let her come back, having not not remembered how terrible of a character she was
Yeah,
until
so
just now.
someone laid all the stuff out. I'm like, but I again, it's not. I think she's very charming. Like I think, and she's can be very likable. It's so I think I think she'd be great. But I personally want her to come back for more Hank the Cow Dog adventures on podcast form. But I don't know
Yeah.
if that's happening. So my last bit of news, we had Disney Plus Day like a couple days ago. I don't remember when, but they like got new nameplates for all the different shows. So like some of them look pretty cool. And we also got some new shows. I'm gonna try to find the nameplates real quick. Okay. So we got X-Men 97. They're bringing that back. We got new Moon. I think the Moon Knight one's kind of the same. She-Hulk. This is got like a little side thing. It looks pretty neat. Ms. Marvel, What If Season 2, Echo, Spider-Man Freshman Year, I Am Groot, Ironheart, Agatha House of Harkness, Marvel Zombies, and Secret Invasion. And then we got some like promo pictures from Secret Invasion, like Nick Fury looking kind of scraggly and he doesn't have his eye patch on. And then our Spider-Man Freshman Year, I'm going to read what this is, the synopsis for this. Sounds kind of interesting. So this is the official synopsis. It follows Peter Parker on his way to becoming Spider-Man in the MCU with a journey unlike we've ever seen and a style that celebrates the character's early comic book roots. Jeff Trammell, known for Disney's Amphibia and The Owl House and Cartoon Network's Craig of the Creek, will serve as head writer and executive producer of this new animated project. And at the time, no other details are known. So it could be pretty good. I've seen a little bit of Craig the Creek and it's fine. So yeah, might be okay.
I hope that it is.
Maybe we'll get Kirsten Dunst to be Aunt May in that one. Since Aunt May keeps getting younger.
No kidding. So which of those are you most excited for?
She-Hulk more than likely, even though like in the because we also like we got the little trailer for that, and in the trailer the CG is not the best, and it also seems like it probably takes place before Endgame, because Hulk's in it and he doesn't have his arm in a sling, and spoiler alert for Shang-Chi after credits he's in that as Bruce Banner and his arm's still in a sling. So everyone's kind of pointing at this, meaning it's in between Endgame. So we might get to see kind of how Hulk gained control. And he might be using that, for Jen.
All right.
Really quick, what do you think of the Moon Knight trailer and the Ms. Marvel trailer? Since we got those also. And
well, real
the
quick,
She-Hulk one.
this is continuing off your She-Hulk thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think it's kind of inexcusable for any of this Marvel stuff for the CG to be lacking. They have infinite money. So if the CG doesn't look good, then what's the excuse there?
I mean, I get it because it's a TV show versus a movie.
Yeah, but they're, it's all connected. It's all the same, man.
Still, though, it's like I don't expect anything better than the CW, and I still think the CG in this looks better than the CW. It's just still doesn't look good.
Right.
I'm gonna say early CW too, by the way, like Gorilla Grodd in the first season of Flash CW, because I didn't see the later stuff, so it might have gotten a lot better since then. But yeah.
I mean, I can deal with not great CG. I don't really care about it. It's just like if people complain about it, it's like it's Disney. Come on.
Yeah.
That Mickey Mouse money. Those Mickey dollars.
If they were gonna use a dumb She-Hulk, they should have just got like Brooke Ince, done the Lou Ferrigno type of thing instead, Yeah. Because like as far as looking like She-Hulk, Brooke Ince looks like She-Hulk. She's a CrossFitter, if you don't know. You can Google her and be like, oh dang, she does look like She-Hulk. It's too bad that she's had to have her spine fused 5 times and she's only 30.
That is unfortunate.
It's what happens when you do CrossFit.
Anyway, regarding the other two, like with She-Hulk, the Miss Marvel one, I mean, it's like 20 seconds. We really don't
Yeah,
get much. It looks like it could be a charming coming of age superhero tale.
that kind of misses the point of the original.
I mean, I'll be honest, I have never read Miss Marvel.
I've only read her in other things, but it's still like I've always heard the original story. And I was like, oh, that sounds actually really smart. And then this one, and like, so I know the point. And it's like, this is like them going, we've missed the point completely, but we don't care because we want money.
I mean, if they keep doing this, maybe enough people speak up and say, "Hey, quit ruining our favorites." You know what I
And
mean?
then Disney will be like, quit spending the money on it then, and maybe we'll think about it.
Yep. But that ain't happening.
Nope.
And then Moon Knight, um, I said this to you before the show, but I don't really like his Moon Knight voice. It's like he's trying to do a Batman voice, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like that menacing or anything. And the words that he's saying are supposed to be menacing. Um, but other than that, I still don't think we get that much out of it.
No, I mean, I liked what we saw of the costume. But like, yeah, as far as anything else, it's just kind of like whatever. I mean, I don't know if any of these are gonna actually make me want to get Disney Plus, but it could be
I mean,
cool.
the ones that have come out so far, dude, I think are worth it.
I
Honestly.
mean, that's what I've heard, but I liked WandaVision, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just like, it's like, man, another streaming service. I wish we just had like some like direct television that could go right into my house and I didn't have to keep worrying about all of these streaming services. I could just get all the channels.
Oh well. Anyway, what were so what do you think the X-Men one is then?
Oh, it's a continuation from the cartoon.
So it's animated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, like,
that really doesn't need to be a thing.
no, but I think didn't the original series kind of end on a cliffhanger?
Yeah, I mean, are the voice actors coming back?
I don't know. That's one of those series where it's like I should have just not ever tried to rewatch it because God, that animation was bad.
It was, but that theme song was sure rad as heck.
Oh yeah, like I'll have to try to do this in the editing. Someone on YouTube did the X-Men theme song with lyrics. I think I sent it to you once before, but it is the best.
Well, hopefully it's decent. I'm not opposed because I like that team and I liked the show a lot. So, you know, if it's like with anything, if it's done right, we'll be excited for it.
I just hope, and this is like not even trying to be funny, but I hope they don't try to be like, boy, these costumes look pretty 90s. Let's try to update them. And it's like, no, just leave them how it is. Who cares if
Yeah,
Jean's wearing a mask that doesn't have a face, yeah, it has the face hole cut all the way out for some reason?
right. I would imagine they would keep it the same.
You'd think so. Because it's got the best Cyclops costume, hands down. Like the only person that looks stupid is Jean.
Right.
Like I don't know what Jim Lee was smoking when he came up with that costume idea.
I don't know, but they did that stupid face mask with several characters and it
I
never
know
looked good on any of them.
that's not true.
Okay, well,
Gambit's one of those
anything looks
characters.
good on Gambit.
Yeah, he's one of those characters that's just like, yeah, he can make anything look cool, even smoking cigarettes. Oh wait, that always looks cool.
All right, I'll move on to the rest of mine.
All right.
So Donnie Cates promises a Thor versus Hulk crossover fight in 2022 that will be the most violent, gory, crazy fight Marvel has ever published.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind
I
of what I
mean,
thought.
it's like, yeah, it's gonna look pretty neat. I don't know. The story's gonna have to be good for me to care. Like, I want to know why they're fighting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna check out his Hulk. His Thor's been good enough for me to
Hmm.
think that yeah, this will probably be like a fun fight. Um, but yeah, he was talking and he said that every time he has a meeting with like Marvel higher ups and pitches what he wants to do in this fight, he like pushes the envelope a little more each meeting just to see what they'll finally say no to. And he was like, they haven't said no yet. So it's like, okay, I mean, let's see what you got. We know he's gonna get an amazing, artist team to tackle this, so it's gonna look cool no matter what.
Yeah.
And then finally, Carnage is getting a one shot followed by a new ongoing series for his 30th birthday. And it's going to be called Carnage Forever. That'll be the one shot, which will be an anthology comic, of course, with contributions from Philip Kennedy Johnson, Ram V, Ty Templeton, Edgar Salazar, and more. That will be out in February. Then in March is when the new ongoing starts. Not sure who the ongoing creative team is on that, but also it's no surprise, but shame on Marvel for being like, here's an $8 book in February and then new #1 in March, and they're both gonna be expensive.
Yeah.
But whatever. But anyway, if you like any of those creators and or Carnage, check that out.
I think since it's his 30th birthday, they need to start being like, well, it's time you start acting less 90s and, we age you up, make you a little bit more. And he's like paying taxes and, other unfun things.
That's what I want to read.
Carnage is just like, he's just like, how am I going to afford this? So something that was kind of neat really quick, because this is a Twitter thing that I saw. Philip Kennedy Johnson, he tweeted about you remember that girl in Future State that his Action Comics was kind of all about?
Yeah.
So she was originally his original plan was he was going to have her be the girl in All-Star Superman that I think Reagan is her name, the one that was going to commit suicide. But then he was like, I needed someone that Clark Kent would have saved, not Superman. So I couldn't use her, but I want to use her in the future. Which I was like, I even tweeted, I'm like, dude, if you keep doing stuff like this, you're going to quickly become one of my favorite writers. So you just better cut it out.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Stop.
I got enough favorites.
That's awesome. That would be such a cool callback.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's like everyone that's read that book, that's like their favorite part because it's such an awesome part. So it's like Superman's in good hands.
Yeah, for sure. All right. That's the end of the news / our rabbit hole ramblings. So we'll take our ad break now, and then we'll come back for the Hour Man 1 hour comics talk spectacular. We'll be right back. All right, Casey.
I think Rabbit Hole Ramblings is going to be a really good name for this episode.
Yeah, I know. Because like the news wasn't spectacular, right?
No. I mean, we had a little bit, but yeah, I think we were both kind of like, let's see if we can find something else to pull out our butt.
Yeah. The most exciting stuff was the trailers, and those were about 10 seconds each.
Yeah. Like all three
right.
together were about the length of a normal trailer.
Yeah, exactly. You got anything for the YouTubes this week?
I mean, not really. I've been not doing a whole lot.
It's like you're a working man or something.
Yeah, dude. That week, because we were working to get beans done, like we got home, I think. I don't remember what time we got home to record that one day. It's like 11, right? And then the next day it was 1 a.m. when I got home. And the day after that, it was past 2.
Okay, but after that, like what time are you guys getting up to go back out?
Like probably leaving here around 7, maybe 6. It just kind of depends. On after the 2 o'clock one though, because it was gonna rain. That's the whole reason why we got it done. I got to sleep in till like 7 o'clock.
So, I mean, what's a farmer what's a farmer do at literal midnight? I mean, what's going on out there? Educate us. We're doing education for the YouTube.
Okay, so since we were cutting beans, like if it rained on the beans again, like some of them were bursting because like the constant cooling of the weather and stuff, it can pop out of their pods. So we just want to get them done and in the grain bins or in the trucks before it started raining, because then when could we get out there again, because they retain moisture so well. So we were just cutting beans, and we had an 80-acre field, and I think we got started at about, I think, 3 o'clock. So it was just like, we got to get this done. And so yeah, I was dumping trucks, and then as soon as I was done dumping, I'd drive back out to the field, get in the tractor, and then I'd start following dad around, fill up a semi, drive back, dump that truck again, and then drive back, and it was a whole thing.
Well, sounds awful.
Yeah, no, it was bad because like, I mean, I wanted to get done. I was like excited to get done. I was like, we need to keep going until we get done. But like at last load of the night, I was waiting on him, and beans take a while to load, and I was just sitting there. I was about to fall asleep in a tractor waiting on him.
I bet. I mean,
which falling asleep in a tractor is not easy.
But you're out there and you're feeding America, Casey.
Yep, we're making America great again.
All right, folks, welcome back. If you want some education on what farmers do sometimes in the middle of the night, still working the field. I tried to make that sound mysterious.
Yeah, I thought it sounded kind of sexy.
Yeah, well, that too. Then go check out the old YouTube. We got plenty of Midwest farmers education going on over there, and that's just Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.
We're gonna make a sister podcast about farming.
Yeah, it's gonna be mostly Casey.
We're gonna call it Jake Deere instead of John Deere.
All right, Casey, what comic books did you read this week?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So The Amazing Spider-Man number 78, Superman versus Lobo book 2, Stillwater issue 11, Black Manta number 3 of 6, Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body number 1. Don't know why I said it like that. What's the furthest place from here? Number 1. The Joker number 9, Mazebook number 3, The Thing number 1, Justice League number 7, and Action Comics 1036. What about you?
I read Wonder Woman 781, Justice League Last Ride 7, Mazebook number 3, Action Comics 1036, The Joker number 9, The Thing number 1, and Robin and Batman number 1.
Well, dang, this is the shoe's on the other foot today, I must say.
You didn't get Robin and Batman?
No, I was going to, but I was like, I like Lemire.
You
I like
should
Dustin.
have. You should
have. How many times can we hear this story? But now I feel like a dummy. And plus, you heard my stack. A stack.
I know, but man, it was really good. I hope you reconsider.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna start with Old Amazing Spider-Man number 78, and this is by Kelly Thompson and with Sarah Pichelli and Jim Toe on the art. And last week I kind of complained because this story seemed out of nowhere, but this was actually a lot of fun. Ben fought Morbius, and then like Morbius chased him to where Ben's headquarters is, and the security system actually blows Morbius' arms off, or one of his arm off, and so then like Ben got his blood sucked, so then he's gonna have to get antitoxin and whatnot, and then they were gonna send Misty and what's her name? What's Misty's friend's name?
Colleen.
Yeah, Colleen Wing out because they're team 2 basically, and then they capture Morbius, and old Monica Rambeau shows up, and then somehow Ben Reilly, like they showed Ben Reilly like in the hospital getting better, but they don't show him actually like waking up, and then it's just like cuts to Ben Reilly and his girlfriend leaving a movie. They just had a date while Colleen and Misty were fighting Morbius, and like that jump did not work for me, but everything else in this issue actually did. That was a lot of fun. And then one part that I liked, since Pete's still in the hospital, Black Cat comes in and she's like, like, oh, Pete, like, come on, you can get better. And then his finger starts moving, and MJ shows up, and she's like, oh, I better leave. And MJ is like, no, I mean, this is the first time he's moved since he's been in here. Like, this is great. So, but you should probably change out of your Black Cat gear and just, you can come sit with me. Then as she leaves, she's like, how many more? She's like, come on, Tiger. Like, how many more of your ex-girlfriends have to come in here before you wake up? And I was like, well, I bet if Gwen showed up. But
oh, you're terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, I actually really like this issue. I mean, I have a feeling I'm gonna have like complaints when the other creative team takes over like next issue or whatever. I'll be like, what where's the Craven the Hunter stuff? Like, what happened there? What's going on?
But isn't this the one that you didn't like last time?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like every second issue of their runs, I'm like, I like this one, and then I'll be like, what is going on?
Right.
Didn't mean to hit this, but so yeah, I'm gonna give it I'm feeling an 8, honestly. I liked it, but
starting off strong.
Yeah, like it was good.
We'll go ahead and take another.
Okay, so Superman v Lobo, and this is by Timmy Seeley and Sarah Beatty writing it, and then Mirka and Dolpha doing the art, and the art is pretty fantastic. The story itself, I was just kind of with. It's pretty silly, it's pretty funny, and like that's what's really trying for, but the jokes just didn't always hit for me. So like this is a very subjective type thing where it's like, yeah, you might really think it's hilarious, but I really didn't. But Superman's mom bones Lobo a lot, so that's a fun thing that you get to read. She was undercover, and so then like there's a part where like, oh yeah, you did these terrible things, and she's like, yeah, I did, and I don't care. Like, it's like she talked about like, oh, it was long and hard, and like this type of thing. It was pretty funny. She was I implanted the parasite into the clone's DNA profile, and he's like, and then where does it go? Oh, I mean, I'm trying to find it without having to spend the whole time looking it up. Oh, Jor-El, it has been my greatest honor to serve Krypton beside you by any means required, or any length.
Gosh.
Like that's stuff from the canon that I didn't really need. Actually, it's not really canon because this is out of continuity. But yeah, so it's silly. I didn't like this issue as much as the other one because it's just like the other one had like kind of topical funny humor, and this one's just like them trying to be funny humor, if that makes sense. And I think the topical made it a little bit funnier than what this one did. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm gonna give it probably a 6 out of 10. It's perfectly fine. The art's good and the story itself is fine.
There's just one more of those, right?
I don't know. I don't know. And I will say, not to dunk on Tamaki, At least we get Lobo in this. It's pretty nice.
All right. I'll talk about Wonder Woman number 781. This is written by Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad, and the art was done by Marcio Takara. So, Casey, the first thing I'm going to say about this book is
You love the art.
I love the art. It is so good.
Now, really quick, do you think he's gonna remember that he ever drew Wonder Woman?
I don't know. That wasn't him, was it? That was
I thought it was.
no, that was what was his name? Talent Caldwell.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
Yeah. But
That was
anyway,
funny.
that was funny and honestly disappointing. But anyway, so Wonder Woman is meeting up with her friend Etta Candy, and they're having lunch, and they look up at the TV screen, and Dr. Psycho is on the TV promoting his new book that he wrote. And Wonder Woman's like, what is he doing alive? Because he was in the whole like Asgard stuff. She's like, and also, why isn't he in prison, and why is he promoting a book? So she goes and confronts him, and he basically says, don't mess with me, or I'm just going to start making like random construction workers like jump off their buildings they're working on and stuff like that. He's like, you can't save them all, so don't mess with me. And he goes away. Then she goes and meets up with good old Boston Brand, the dead man. And she's like, hey, I've got Siegfried's sword here, and I don't feel right having it. I want to like lay it to rest with his body. Can you tell me where his body is, or like what's left of his body? And Dead Man does. So he's like, yeah, I can take you to it. I have to go with you though, because I can feel where it's like about where it's at. But as we get closer, I'll be able to pinpoint where it's at. So he's like, it's old Wonder Woman and Dead Man back together again, which I'm always fine with because they're a really fun pair. And he's currently living in this random house somewhere in New England, just like inside an actual cadaver's body. You can see like the cut marks from the autopsy, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then like a weird fake Wonder Woman shows up at Steve Trevor's and tries to kill him. And he like shoots her because she's trying to kill him, and she like shatters, and it's like, I don't know, this weird glass stuff. So he's like, what the heck is going on there? And then it cuts to Wonder Woman and Dead Man, who are taking like a commercial flight to one of the Scandinavian countries. And Diana looks out the window, and there's like a handful of these fake Wonder Woman outside the plane flying next to it. And that's where it ends. So there's all sorts of fun stuff going on here. Like we get Dead Man, and like a fun, let's bury the sword with the Viking warrior. We have Dr. Psycho up to something shady. And we've got some fake glass Wonder Woman running around trying to kill people. So there's some fun stuff happening. The last couple issues I was kind of growing cool on, but this has roped me right back in, especially with Marcio Takara on the art. He is one of my favorites. So yeah, this one is a very strong 8 for me, and I'm excited for the next issue.
So really though, what you're saying is you don't want a Wonder Woman book, you want a Dead Man book.
I mean, just give me like a Brave and the Bold featuring Wonder Woman and Dead Man.
Okay,
But
nice.
just make it like a maxi series.
I'd be reading that.
Yeah.
All right. So next for me is gonna be Stillwater, number 11. This is with Ramon K. Perez on the art and Chip Zdarsky writing. And yeah, I mean, I like it a lot. You have the main character is still stuck in this town. They're not really like the little kid that's running the town now is a crazy person because he's, an adult in a child's body. And, that's not going to end well. And he's trying to lead this, and a lot of stuff's going on. And there's some death. And then a big kind of crazy thing happens at the end. This book just reads so quick. And then at the end, you always get like 5 things from Boom. So it doesn't feel like you get much for this book because it's like all of this, like this is all just advertisements for other books.
Yeah.
So it's just, I'm like, oh yeah, this is getting good. And I'm like, oh, it's over. But I liked it. I mean, I'm excited for the next one. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. Yeah, nothing really bad to say. Nothing that really kind of made me like, like some of these other books I read this week were just better. That's how it kind of boils down, So I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10, but I did like it. And then next, I'll talk about Black Manta. Like there's some cool stuff about this book, and it's by Chuck Brown and Matthew Dow Smith on the art. I like the art. Okay. The story, it's got some really neat things going on, but I don't know if this is like a newer writer and this is the issue, but it just is not clear with the jumping around, the characters that it shows, all this stuff. It kind of does things that, in my opinion, aren't done very well. And so, yeah. And then like they build up this Amazon. It's like crazy. She came out from the dead, and then like she gets beat up pretty easy. So it's just like, oh, okay. Gave us a lot of buildup for that, but whatever. And yeah, I'm interested in the next issue. I'm still like invested, but yeah, this is just, I don't know. Like, I think I'm assuming this writer's a newer writer. So when like a couple of years from now, when they're doing their next story, it's going to be a lot better. I have a feeling. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10.
All right. I'll do Robin and Batman because it's the only one I have left that we didn't read together. It was written by Jeff Lemire, and the art and colors were done by Dustin Gwynn. So yeah, as Casey kind of stated, it is like fresh when Bruce Wayne adopted Dick Grayson, and he is going out for the first time, his very first outing as Robin. And, things go wrong as always. Batman doesn't think he's ready. He does. What's special about this book, though, apart from the art, which is seriously out of this world amazing, is the character moments. It feels good to have Alfred in a book. It's almost like Alfred should always be around. It's stupid if he's not around. So, we've got Alfred trying to be a father to Bruce and, say like, hey, you have a son now. You need to, have some leniency. And then also Alfred being sweet and trying to make Dick understand where Bruce is coming from. So lots of really good stuff there that you just miss having around in the normal Batman books. And then the thing that one of my favorite parts that's kind of messed up is that basically Bruce tells Dick that mission didn't go well. You're not coming out with me until we have more training and I decide that you're ready. And Robin's like, this is a test. He wants me to show that I'm determined, and he wants me to go out anyways. So I'm going to tail him in this homemade Robin costume that I made and show him that I'm ready. So he follows Batman into a sewer, and he hears a splash behind him. And he's like, Batman actually got the drop on me, and he circled back around to tail me. But then he looks behind him, and it's Killer Croc. And Croc's like, who are you, kid? And he's like, where'd you get that costume? And like throws him against the wall. Batman shows up and helps him. Croc runs off, and Batman, having suffering a couple broken ribs, takes Robin and goes home. And they kind of get into it. And Bruce walks over to this costume holder thing, and the window goes away, and it shows like a proper Robin costume. And Robin's like, "This is my design from my journal. You read my journal." And Bruce is like, he says the most Bruce thing ever. "We don't keep secrets," which of course doesn't set well at all. So Robin's like, "But that journal was like all that I had that was just mine." And he, gets mad and runs away. And then as he runs away, it shows Bruce saying, "But I thought this costume was what you wanted. It was a gift." So it's like very early on in their relationship where Bruce just has no idea how to be a human being, let alone a dad. And Dick is still, mourning his parents and dealing with this new life that he lives in. So anyway, at the end, it shows Croc going to an old Haley's circus where apparently Croc was part of the show. He was, the crocodile man. And then he passes a Flying Graysons poster, which looks an awful lot like the Robin costume. And you see his eyes get wide, and that's how it ends. So it was awesome. I love this book. 10 out of 10. There was nothing that I disliked about it. Every like character moments, art, story, all great. I love it.
Nice, man. I thought something really stupid. How funny would it be if, like, since it's like, in the past and Alfred left all that money to Dick Grace, Dick in like the current books, if there's a one part where like he's sitting next to Alfred, Dick is, and he's like, "Hey, so there's this thing called Bitcoin. You should invest in it."
Oh yeah. Yeah, nothing would make this book better except
Than a Bitcoin, a
cryptocurrency. Yeah.
Bitcoin reference.
Yep.
Okay, so next up for me is Regarding the Matter of Oswald's Body, and this is by Christopher Cantwell and Luca Casalegwanda on the art. And so Lee Harvey Oswald's body is getting dug up, and they're getting a team together to, I'm assuming, get a body that would resemble his, because he's not actually in that grave. And so this is all just getting the team together. I was expecting I didn't really read what this is about, but someone said it's kind of a crime book. That's how I was like, gonna check this out, and then I'm like, this is not what I wanted at all. And so I just was not feeling it, if I'm being honest. But it's all setting the team up, and they got their team, and they're gonna go get this stuff figured out, and I'm never gonna know what happens because I'm not gonna pick up the next book. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10.
Man, that sounded really good, man.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's probably plenty of people that will really like it. I just was not into it at all. But spoiler alert, something I'm very much into. What's the furthest place from here? And like, this is a girthy book. Like, I wanted to weigh it before we got on just so I could show you the weight of this versus another one for the same price. Like, look at all this comic you're getting for the same price, but I didn't. But but yeah, so like something happened. Like, this is by old Tyler Boss and Matthew Rosenberg doing the storytelling, and who's doing all of the art? Is it just, yeah, it's Tyler Boss doing the art. So yeah, we got a bunch of kids living in this place, and they're, like, they have these weird rules. Like, I don't really understand what the heck is going on with all the different stuff. And once you turn an adult, you can't live there anymore. Some people say it sound like you kind of die when you turn old and all this other stuff. But then, like, one of the people that were an adult showed back up. He got shot, and so then they're trying to figure out what's going on. Really cool. The art in it's really nice. Like, I just was like just hooked the whole time. And yeah, I mean, it ends with the old slug that was the adult that showed up, going missing, and then this one person clearly went off to go find them. And yeah, I'm all in. I like this a lot. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
Nice. Here's something frustrating about that. Um, they put out a special, like a deluxe version of number one that came with the 7-inch vinyl record.
Oh, that's cool.
And I ordered one for a customer that wanted it. And I guess Diamond or whoever decided that record was going to be super allocated and only sent them to who they thought should get them. And like nobody in St. Louis got it. And
Wow.
spoiler alert, it pissed a lot of people off. So let's see what happens with the second one.
Yeah. That's a dang shame. But the book is really good. And there's one part actually I'm going to talk about, because for those that know, I think it's Simon and Garfunkel, know what they look like. It was hilarious because they have to choose a record for what they look like, or not what they look like, but for whatever. And gotta find it, because she's like, I found mine. Oh, it's John and Hall and Oates, Private Eye. She's like, this is my record. Like, she's like, I found my meaning, is what he's like. And then the other dude, it's like, your choice is supposed to define you. It's your everything. It's who you're going to be after you leave here. You got to choose wisely. And she's like, but that's the right one for me. And he's like, oh yeah, why do you choose? I don't know. They look cool. No one in their right mind thinks Hall and Oates look cool.
That's
so
really
I thought
funny.
That was really funny. All right, but now we are on to our books, man.
Cool.
So what order do you think?
Since you tell me. Oh, okay. No, you gave me free reign. The power is going to my head. Let's do Justice League Mazebook, Joker action thing.
Sounds good.
So, Justice League Last Ride number 7. And this was written by old Chirp Zadorski, and the art was done by Miguel Mendonca. Sorry to that gentleman. But anyway, Casey, final issue of this sort of series. What'd you think of it?
Mildly let down, but they had some really cool moments. What about you?
I couldn't have put it any better myself. Like, some of the character moments were cool. Obviously, Martian Manhunter being back was neat. But some of the things, I don't know. It's like, this is spoilers, people. Would Superman actually be fine with Hal just like kind of killing Darkseid like he did? But then, Hal kind of pulls the pity card, and Clark's just like, oh, Hal, it's okay, buddy. It's all over. Let's go home.
See, to me,
it was just kind of weird.
No, see, to me, with because I mean, or in an earlier part, he also, in the lamest way possible, kills Hank Henshaw, which it's like, that's Hank Henshaw with Brainiac, and yet C4 and Heat Vision killed him. Okay, but so that was another gripe I had. But I could 100% see Superman even being involved in killing Darkseid. I don't think that's that far out, because Superman.
Well, no, I mean, that's not really my complaint. It was just like the execution of it all.
I mean, the way they killed Darkseid, I thought was lame.
Right. It's
100%,
just like,
but
here's a bunch of mega bombs.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't think anyone would ever fault Hal for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I just think I thought the way I think maybe Chip just put himself in a corner, and then they're like, yeah, let's just toss a bunch of bombs at him.
Right.
That'll do it. I thought it was funny that Wonder Woman cut off Lobo's head.
Dude, that was the best part of the issue, hands down. He's
I
like,
don't
so
know.
we're good. The deal is done. Yeah.
I don't know. I really like the part, and this is like one of those parts where I'm like, yeah, this is just really, really cool. When Hal had the Justice League show up to help, and it was, just the constructs of the Justice League. I thought that part was really, really cool.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, that's like the thing. Just cool, cool moments. But that ending was just such a letdown to me.
Yeah. How would you okay, rate the issue and then the series?
I'm probably at a 7 for this issue because, like I said, it just like like I said, cool moments, but poor execution on the ending. What about you?
I will also say 7. I know we don't like to give the same answers, but uh while some of the other issues we rated really high, the way this ended, I got to round the series as a whole probably at about a 7. Like
I'm at
it's fine.
I'm at about an 8, like for the whole series, because it's just like, yeah, the ending wasn't great, but there's a lot of cool stuff that happened. That was just a lot of fun, and yeah,
I'm not mad that I read it, you
yeah,
know.
it's not like there's been so many series where I'm like, boy, I could have just spent that money elsewhere. Okay, so doing Joker next, right?
Mazebook.
Okay, so Mazebook, and this is by Jeff Lemire, and I liked it. Yeah, it's just Jeff Lemire, isn't it? He's doesn't, yeah, just him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's talking to his neighbor, who clearly is picking up what he's setting down, but he is too obsessed with his daughter to even notice anything's being set or picked back up. but but like, as this goes on, like, I mean, part of me thinks he's not crazy, but part of me thinks he's 100% crazy. What do you think about the book as a whole, and him being maybe crazy?
I like the book as a whole. I don't know. I like, is this just gonna be like he accepts his daughter's death at the end, or is she actually still alive, being trapped somewhere in this maze of the city?
Yeah.
I mean, in this issue, like, it was really good. The plot thickens a lot.
And one thing that I like, so I don't know if you did this, but at the end when he notices the grate and then he climbs down it, and I was like, he's always sleeping when he finds stuff out about the maze, like it's always like when he's about to be asleep or he wakes back up. So I was like, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna see if there's a grate. Sure enough, there is a grate. Like, I don't know if you went back and checked, but I was
did.
like, okay, good. Because I was like, I have to make sure. So I like that that's a thing. And yeah, I'm 100% in on this ride. So I'm loving it.
Plus, the talking dog has ties to the neighbor. Is that coincidence?
Probably.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I'm gonna give this one a 9.
That's where I'm at 100%. I just really enjoyed it. It's not quite perfect. Like, honestly, I like Jeff Lemire's art, but there are times where, especially when it's talking, things like the body seems so stiff with his art. And I think he could have done better with a different person, drawing it. But that's like the only real downside, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. That puts us to Joker. Joker number 9. I should really look up the credits beforehand. It's written by James Tynion, and the art is done by Stefano Raphael. And yeah, Casey, where are you at on this one?
I like this a lot. I like how they kind of like did a soft retcon of things, and they did it, and James did it in a very good way. Like, there's times where like where everything's connected and all of that stuff. I like that. I thought that worked very well. I hate when they do this stuff and like it's not well thought out. And James, in my opinion, had everything very well thought out. So that worked superbly. I like the dude that made the Venom, that crazy guy, and Lady Bane is awesome.
I got, like, if they were going to make this into a movie, crazy Venom guy I thought looked a lot like Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
like,
can see that.
He could actually play that role.
Yeah. Only downside is spoiler alert, wouldn't be much for him.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Dude,
But
I thought where this was gonna go was like a tie-in to like Three Jokers, right? I was like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, they're like trying to clone the Joker. Um, but yeah, I liked Jim at the beginning, you know, kind of walking through all of his greatest traumas and stuff like that. Really, really makes me want Lady Bane to kill Joker because it's like,
mhm,
man, he really just ruined this man's life.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, I enjoyed this one a good bit, and I'm hoping old Lady Bane goes after them cannibals.
Yeah, me too. And also, what did you think about that last page reveal on who the Talon was?
Dude, that was awesome. That
Yeah,
was such a well thought out thing. It's great. I enjoyed that a good bit. Did you like that twist?
I did, dude. I did a little
Yeah. Now we're on to the main event. Punchline, Chapter 9 by Sam Johns and James Tynan with Rosie Campe on the art. Did you read it?
I'm gonna be honest, Casey. No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't read it.
didn't think so. Punchline has, Orca captured because Punchline is better than everybody. And then Harper is coming up with, a plan, and she's learning more about Punchline. Sucks. Just sucks. It just brings down like this good Joker book. It just brings it down. I don't get how anyone can like Punchline. I really don't at all, because it's just such a bad character. It's just unenjoyable. Because at least when Joker has crap planned out, and like I don't like that either, but at least he's got a personality with it. She's just like an annoying high schooler.
Right.
So
I
yeah,
mean, I find myself chuckling, and it happens in this issue too. Jim shows up to this mansion. Everybody's dead. Joker's sipping tea, and he goes, Jimbo, you made it. Like,
yeah,
I just love little stuff like that. It tickles me every time. He's such a psycho.
yeah. You wish you had some psychopath that would call you like Jakey, you made it.
I sure don't. Please don't ever do
Yeah,
that.
you hate being called Jakey. I forget.
You know, it's just one of those things.
So really quick, this is like, how much time do we have left? Because I have a funny Luke story. My old roommate.
We have 27 minutes.
Okay, so yeah, this is enough time. He did impressions all the time, but he played the Arkham City games, or Arkham Knight, the one that had Penguin in it with a like Australian accent. And our other roommate Chase, like Luke would do the Penguin impression every once in a while, and then like to our roommate Chase, he'd be like, "Oh, Chase, boy," and Chase would like, "Stop."
What I remember he did an impression. Was it a Bane impression? One of the few times that I would come to visit you at college.
Yeah, he did, because he did a Heath Ledger's Joker, which is awesome, like legitimately just really good. But then he also did a Bane. He did the Bane like early on in me knowing him, and then like we went to, and he's like, "It's not a good Bane." And then like we went to like a film club meeting, and this kid did a really good one. He's like, "Hey Casey, should I do my Bane impression too?" I'm like, "No." He's like, but it's like really good, right? It's better than his. I'm like, "It's not, dude. Yours is not." I'll be honest. I didn't want to tell you this when we first met, but it's not very good. And he's like, "Are you? No, it's really good." I'm like,
Just
"It's not."
shattered his
And then
whole world.
he's like, "I'm gonna do it." And then he did it. Everyone's like, that was good. He's like, "Oh, it was so bad."
He should have done his Joker. Should
I
have
know
done the Joker.
his Joker is legitimately awesome.
All right. Well, what would you rate the book overall?
I'm giving it a 7 because that punchline just brings it down every single time.
And I knew I'd be a little higher than you because of that. I'm gonna go an 8.
Yeah. See, that's what sucks. Every single time we have the Joker book, I'm like, for the most part, I'm usually like, I really liked it, except for this punchline, and it just brings it down.
Yeah. And you know, they're probably gonna collect all those backups into like a punchline trade, and it's
Yeah.
just gonna be bad.
Dude, just wait. 30 years from now, when we got the 30-year anniversary of Punchline, it's gonna be great. We're gonna be getting all these stories re-upped. It's gonna be awesome.
And then we can sell our first appearance for a lot of money.
Yeah. Do you have that one? Because I know I do.
I do have that one, yeah.
All right. Because I didn't know if you, because that was the that one tie-in to the Justice League. So I didn't know if
Hella
you had.
Risen.
Yeah.
Hella Risen 3.
Yeah. So next up is Superman Action Comics 1036. And this is by Philip Kennedy Johnson and old normal person that's always on it on the art.
Daniel Sampier.
Daniel Sampier. And what did you think of all of the different stuff that happened in this? Because
So
a
I'm
lot
gonna
happened.
It did. I'm gonna say overall, I thoroughly enjoyed it. When it lost me a bit is when Manchester Black is explaining why Superman looks different now.
Yeah.
Was that just me?
No,
Because
no.
Manchester Black is just like screaming their plan. He's just like, it was an illusion the whole time. It's like, why did we need that?
I mean, it's just to kind of explain because like Grant went a certain way with it, and then I think it's like Philip Kennedy Johnson's kind of gotta keep up with it. But I want to know, why is it that every artist now, or like every new creation, is just a rip off of the Thanos kids?
Yeah.
Because these guys look just like rip offs too, just like the ones in the Death of Doctor Strange.
Yep. It's Black Order 3.0.
And then so, and when it says in the Golden Age, Superman number 29, is that like the original Superman run number 29?
I mean, that's what I took away from it.
Okay.
If it were Grant writing this, I would believe 100% that that's the case. It could also just be the
That's the name of the arc, like Golden Age Superman 29, whatever.
right.
So
But anyway, did you like it overall?
I did. It didn't. I'll say this. I feel a little bamboozled because like this still doesn't explain why Superman was friends with the JFK at the beginning of Superman and the Authority. But other than that, I still really liked it. Like Philip Kennedy Johnson did a good job of actually, giving all of the characters more time. Unlike with the Batman Superman one, I felt, and Mongol is just such a jerk. Like, wow. And yeah, I mean, I'm digging it. Like the only downside for me is just the Black Order ripoffs.
Yeah. I when Superman realizes that all those people had been killed and he gets the tear in his eye, I was like, we're about to see him go absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
And I think we will get to that, when the time comes. Can't wait to see it happen. Because it's drawn so well too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the art in it is great. And then did you read the Tales of Metropolis backup?
No, I skimmed it and was like, nah, I don't need to.
It was actually pretty good. And I'm not going to complain about this one. Like, it's by Sean Lewis and Sammy Basir on the art. The art is awesome. Should be on a full-time book instead of a backup. But yeah, so it's just the Guardian trying to figure out where all these kids went missing, and it's like this weird tech Ouija board type game ghost guy that's like putting kids away. It's pretty interesting, and Guardian's a cool enough character. I mean, he is backup, like that is a backup character if there's ever been one, though. But yeah, no, I like that, and I like the main story, so I'm at another 9.
Yeah. Man, I hate doing like 0.5s, but I'm like 7.5.
Oh
I'm
wow.
just in between them a little bit. But like I said, that Manchester Black thing just really kind of took me out of it for a minute. But otherwise, I really did dig it, and I'm
I
looking
gotcha.
forward to the rest of it.
Yeah. And now the one that I was most excited for. Take it away, buddy.
All right, we've got The Thing in number one. It's written by Walter Mosley and art by Tom Riley. And I'm going to say the color art as well by Jordi Belair. She is amazing.
Hmm.
I have a feeling, Casey, that you dug this quite a bit, but go ahead and share your feelings.
So I'm like, I hate using the word things are like, this is perfect for this book. The art is perfect for this book. So good. Like you got, like the only thing I really didn't like is I don't understand. Like they didn't really do a good job of explaining this demon guy, how he kind of infected Ben Grimm, like how that worked. Like, just kind of like, oh, this is just how it goes.
Yeah.
But I mean, we get the Thing, we get Hercules, and Hercules is, not a mopey space guy like he is in Al Ewing's Guardians. He's a drunk adulterer the way he should be.
I I loved it. I feel bad for Ben throughout the entire issue. It makes me
Yeah.
really sad. Do you so I don't know even a fraction about The Thing like you do. Is that fiance like a reoccurring fiance, or is that something new?
Well, I'm pretty sure in Dan Slott's run, they're actually married now. That's Alicia Masters. You would know her from the movies. She was the same girl in the movies. Her whole thing is she's blind and she's a sculptor.
Oh, okay.
I
Sure.
think,
Sure.
I think, don't quote me on this one, but I'm like 90% sure she is married or not married. She is the daughter of, who's that? The dude, I think is like in the second or third issue of Fantastic Four. He's the puppeteer.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Okay. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm pretty sure she's his daughter,
Okay.
but I'm not 100% on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I've not really read a whole lot of Fantastic Four, so I was just like, I feel bad for Ben, but I don't really know who this gal is. So,
Yeah, because that's one thing that was pretty funny is, and the dude overreacted. This dude was very chummy with Alicia, uh, Ben's lady, and as Ben and Alicia are kind of arguing because Ben's like, "What are you doing holding this, this dude's arm?" And then she's like, she didn't have to say this, but really she's like, "I'm blind and he's guiding me." So, but then the dude sprays him in the face with like really powerful mace, and then like Ben Grimm can't see, and he kind of swings his arm, and in doing so, just destroys a car. And so then he gets arrested and he ends up in jail, superhero jail with Hercules, who, as he put it, drank 2 bottles. I think it was only 2 bottles of absinthe with a couple ladies and then woke up here.
see, like, I'm glad that you told me that she's blind because honestly, you don't know if
Yeah.
you don't know. I had no idea. So knowing that now, it's like, oh, I don't feel because before I was like, why is she hanging on his arm
Yeah.
like that? But now it's like, oh, it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the things where this book's intended audience is Fantastic Four fans. So like, yeah, it's like they should have explained, even in like hindsight, where it's like, well, I didn't bring my cane today, honey,
Well,
that type
right,
of thing.
right, yeah. I mean, at least you guys, the audience, are getting actual reactions from the both sides here, like the
Yeah.
diehard thing fan, like Fantastic Four fans, and then somebody that's jumping in fresh. But dude, the art is so good. I thought it was um gosh, what's his name? Samney, Chris Samney.
Oh yeah.
Like it looked a lot like his art, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
oh man, just so good. All right, well, what would you rate it?
I want to give it a 10, but there's little things with like that the big bad in this that just weren't explained very well. So I'm at a 9 for it because of that. But I absolutely loved it, and it is gonna be my recommendation of the week.
Okay. Um, I hate to do it, Casey, but I'm also giving it a 9. It was just that good.
They're
It
like,
was.
I'm giving it a 3.
It's like it was amazing. I hated it. But yeah, I'm really excited for the next one. I almost didn't pick this up. I was just like, I know Casey's excited for it. I want him to have somebody to talk to about it, so I'm gonna read it too.
Are you trying to guilt me into getting Nightwing?
No. You're
Well,
reading Thor, and that's enough for me.
oh, okay, good. So, what books are you excited for this coming week, buddy?
Sure. Moon Knight, obviously, to the surprise of nobody. I'm liking that one a whole bunch. Um, the Robbins book. I hope that that's cool because it's got all the Robins. It's even got Stephanie in it. I'm excited. And then, what is a good one? You know, Blue and Gold. Go
Nice.
Blue and Gold. What about you, bud?
Um, I am gonna say Dark Ages. I have to remember that because that's like one of those ones where I might forget because its title is not something that's memorable at all in my opinion, but it is enjoyable. I've been liking it. Aquaman: The Becoming, and then Nice House on the Lake. This is kind of a more of a week coming up, but whatever.
Well, the last couple have been pretty stacked. So,
Yeah. All right,
and
man.
I could also have put in Suicide Squad or King Shark. Both of those have been a delight.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so I was just thinking because like you always hear stories online, and you'll also, if you've ever been to the gym, you get, if you're at there at the wrong time, you get cornered by an old guy that tells you how strong he used to be, and you're just like, dude, please put pants on. I don't want to talk to you in the locker room about how you used to squat 500 pounds. Okay. But
It's like, get on my shoulders, I'll show you.
but take your pants off first. So I was just thinking, like, you probably hear a lot of liars at the old comic book shop. So just give me like 4 ridiculous lies that you get to hear regularly.
So the most basic one that I hear regularly is um, there's, and I'm explaining this to you, Casey, because you're not around here. Most of the listeners here will know what I'm talking about, but there is a store and several malls around St. Louis called V Stock, V's in vintage, and they will do like a buy one get one, or just like all back issues are $1. And most of their back issues are just like super common stuff, like it's whatever. But I have so many people that'll come in and say, I got this $50 book. It was just sitting in there for $1. And I'm sure some, like every once in a blue moon that'll happen, but you know, people have tried to tell me some real doozies, and that one comes up a lot. Um, I think I've told this story on here before, but there was the guy that was just, he knew for a fact that Supergirl was now owned by Marvel. And like, that's just one of those lies that really sticks with you. Um, I had a guy come in once who swore that he had Captain America #1. And I was like, oh, so like, Captain America #100, which was like his actual first solo series, or you have like some of the Golden Age stuff, like the Timely comics. And he was just like, you're #1. It's like, okay, you have no idea.
So Stanley in there was talking to you.
Yeah, he ripped off a mask and he's like, it's me, Excelsior. Um, and then the most ridiculous one, this happened like within my first year of owning the shop. A guy came in and he was like, where are your overstreet price guides? And I had them on the shelf next to me. I'm like, oh, they're right here. He's like, oh, okay. And he's flipping through it and he's like, oh, so that's what my copy of Amazing Fantasy 15 is worth. And then he closed the book and put it back on the shelf. And then he just left.
That's awesome.
And I was just like, dude, no, you don't. No, you don't.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And dude, guys like this have a type, right? And like, when they're not telling the truth on this. And this guy was lying. I know he was. But anyway, those are my big ones.
I got you, man.
Have you come across any in
No,
your time?
no, but I will say this on the point, like owning the first issue of anything. When I was a kid, I went to an antique store and I bought Spider-Man #1, and it told
Like the Todd
his
McFarlane?
no, it was I was convinced it was the real deal, and it had like it's basically like it's just a retelling of his origin story, and it's just like they did an updated of Amazing Fantasy 15, like an updated cover.
Oh, sure.
I'm just like, oh yeah, it's Spider-Man #1. I'm gonna be rich someday.
And your dad who bought it for you is probably just like, what an idiot.
It was actually, I'm pretty sure it was my mom. I was talking about this, like I was like whispering at the antique store that we got from, like, we can't let them know how good this is.
That is hilarious, dude. When was your bubble burst over that?
I mean, not super long, because I was like, I don't think this is really #1. Like a couple, and then like I actually looked at the price of it like recently, because I was like, yeah, but it's like still like Spider-Man. It might be something more than $2. I think it might be $1.50.
Oh, that's great. All right, man. I think that's the end of the episode.
I think so too. I do want to share like a funny tweet that Dan Slott actually said the other day. So I don't follow Dan, but people liked it, and I was like, this is actually pretty great. I need to share it on the podcast. One of his neighbors knows he works in comics, and so the dude, like, it's this old man, I guess, and he's like, so how's Captain Marvel doing? And he's like, oh, she's good. And he's like, she? And he's like, yeah, she's been a woman for a while now. And he's like, what happened to the original one? Like, well, there's and he started naming off all the other ones that they had, and like in the first one, died of cancer. He's like, died of cancer? How did he? When did this happen? And then he's like back in the 80s. And he's like, oh, poor Billy. And then he's like, no, he's Shazam now. He's in DC. He is fine. He is still doing his thing. And he's like, oh, thank goodness.
That's hilarious. Wholesome old man.
Yeah, just great. I was like, this is my favorite thing Dan Slott's written in a long time.
For sure. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. But now we'll do the closing plugs. If you would, please go to facebook.com/2worldspodcast and give the page a like. You can also find us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And we're also on YouTube. You can just search 2Worlds Podcast and subscribe to the old channel.
And drop a comment. Tell us the time that you've lied to Jake. Okay, and then we'd love to stay in chat, but I'm going to go put on Jake's coat and dance around a little bit. Bye, guys.
Bye.